Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Joshua in Jacksonville, Florida. First, I would to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the archons, and to the women and children. Ka'al Halayim La, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Ha Rokah Kodash Mahamaf. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawan. Salutations to the archons who are on the four corners of the earth. And to the women and children, Shalom. Okay, well, so much is going on. And so much truth is coming on the internet that the Edomites and the tiny hats don't know what to do. So eventually the famine of the word is going to come. They say here that WAF, or whatever they call themselves, just told us what's coming next. Okay? This is going to be a full report release. Okay? I'm going to try to play as much as the video I can. The title of this lesson is called The Snake and His Lying Lips. Here we go.
Economic Forum just told us what's coming next in a full report they just released. Now, the World Economic Forum, they are calling to master the future. And of course, they get the world's leaders, the world's most influential people together in a meeting every single year in Davos, Switzerland, to figure out what they want to do without, of course, asking what it is that we want. And they wrote a full report, and we have access to lots of the recordings and videos that happened at that event. Now, there's a lot of information. It's taken me quite a while to go through it all, and I've pulled together some stuff that they have said, both in writing and some video clips. I'm going to bring it to you directly from their mouth. I don't want you to hear it from me. So in this video, we're going to break down what this report says. We're going to pull clips out of it and show you specifically the report. And of course, this will lead us to show where they show us exactly what their goals are for your life, my life, for the economy, our money, how we travel, what we eat, and so much more. If you want to know what the future holds, then you got to look at what they are saying, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go. All right, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mark Moss, and I make these videos to change the way you think about money, because almost everything you've learned is wrong, because almost all the information that you get is wrong. The information you've been given, what you receive, and we have to start to think about things differently, and we are going to break some of that down. Now, if you're not aware, there's a group of people, some of the most influential people in the world. They control the money, the banking, they control the businesses, the corporations, and every single year they go and they gather and they get together to think about how we'll change things through the financing, through the banks, through the governments, and through businesses. And they do a pretty good job. Now, it's been proven, a Harvard MBA, so of people that went to Harvard, so these are elite people or above average, let's just say, they go to Harvard to get into the MBA program, less than 3% of them had written down goals. What they found is that those 3% of people that did have written down goals made 10 times as much money as the 97% combined. So it's the power of having written down goals. And there's one group of people who have them written down. It's the World Economic Forum. And they just published a report. It's called the Global Risks Report for 2023, which tells us what our risks are that we're facing. What's going to happen? And then they got together in Davos and they had a big meeting about this to explain what they're going to do to mitigate this. So we're going to look at exactly that. What does the report say and what did they say so you can understand?
Most people have no clue the best way to make money on
Rocky,
Amazon
you know how it
is
is.
not
Give me a
with
minute.
physical products.
What does the report say and what did they say so you can understand what's going to happen next, at least according to them? Now, I like to say, not if there's anything I can do about it. And how about not if there's anything that we can do about it together? This is their goal, but it's certainly not what I want. It's probably not what you want, and so it doesn't have to be true. because they don't control the future as long as we do something about it. So let's dig in. Okay, 18th edition. They've been doing this for a long time. The World Economic Forum is not brand new. It's the 18th edition of what they call the Global Risk Report. And basically what they try to do is through their think tanks is they try to identify what the most severe risks will be. And they look at it in a time frame of 1 and 2 years and then a 10-year plan. So kind of what's the short-term risks and what are the long-term risks? So that's how we're going to kind of look at it. Now, in the meeting, Klaus Schwab, he opened up this annual meeting in Davos as saying that we need to be the masters of the future. They need to. He needs to be. Well, I don't want him to be the future, or I should say the master of my future, and you probably don't either, and we're going to talk about that. But what are they saying? So let's look at some of these risks just to start it off, and then we'll dig in. We're going to hear directly from them. This is a screenshot directly from the report. And what we have here is we have the biggest risks in 2 years, and over here we have the biggest risks in 10 years. 2 years, 10 years, short term, long term. And what we can see is we have, in the short term, the number one is cost of living increase. Inflation, no doubt, right? Inflation's raging high, and they continue to see that be a problem. I have been saying that I think inflation is some of the lowest that we'll have in the decade, and they seem to agree. Inflation has not peaked. Maybe it's peaked for right now. Yes, I think the official CPI number will come down this year, which gives the Fed pause to start printing more money. It's another contrarian view I have. But overall, the gas in your car and the steak at the grocery store will cost more money. They put that as number one. A couple other things: natural disasters, extreme weather, economic confrontation, geoeconomic confrontation, financial wars. That's what that means. Failure to mitigate climate change. And they see that the fourth risk in a 2-year, but that goes to the number one risk over 10 years. Failure to mitigate climate change. That's the biggest risk that we have in 10 years, supposedly. The climate's going to kill us all. We're going to hear more about that. Then we have the geoeconomic confrontation. They believe goes from number 3 all the way down to number 9. So they see more potential peace in the future, probably because they're globalists. They have Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, got up on the stage and he said, "We need a one world government. How can we solve the number one problem of climate change if we don't have a one government? If every government's on their own, we'll never solve this." So they see that going down. I think they think that globalism works, the one world government. Erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization. That's number 5. They see that going down to number 7. So they think that we'll get along better in 10 years than we do in 2. Now, the reason why we have this is a couple of reasons. One, we have a lot of lies and gaslighting, and we also have a big radical shift. And mostly what we have, on one side, we have freedom lovers. Let me do me, and you do you. We can all get along that way, because I say that you should be able to do what you want. Of course we're going to get along that way. The problem is when you tell me what I have to do and I don't like it. And so I think that they're wrong on that. We can keep going on. We'll put a link down below to the full report. You can read it. And so forth. But let's keep digging in, because I want you to hear exactly what they're saying directly from their mouth. And I got some videos to back that up. Now, like I said, this is the Global Risk Perception Survey, the GRPS. And of course, what it all basically boils down to, if you didn't get the gist of that, is climate. Climate is to blame for everything. It's the reason why we're all going to be mad at each other. It's the reason why we're all going to have to pay more money. And it's the reason why we're all probably going to die. And if you think that's hyperbolic, let's hear directly from the father of this movement. I'm talking about Al Gore. Let's go ahead and play this video from him.
On the earth. That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would.
Wow. That's from the guy who invented the internet, by the way, Al Gore. The guy who told us 20 years ago the world would be over and all the polar bears would be dead. That's what he told us. He's been wrong over and over and over. I don't know at what point do we stop believing a liar and someone who gets it wrong. I don't know at what point. But apparently the rain bombs apparently, is what's happening. Apparently, the oceans were boiling. I haven't seen that. I'm in the ocean every day. As a matter of fact, I'm a surfer, and I really wish the water could get warmer. So I don't know what he's talking about boiling oceans. It's freezing cold here where I'm at in Southern California, by the way. And apparently, climate refugees. Well, I know the U.S. has over 5 million people illegally entering from Central America and South America, certainly not coming here from climate. I would imagine the Ukrainian refugees are not coming there for climate either. I'm not sure what he's talking about. And then he said, it's the reason why we have xenophobia. The climate is the reason why we have xenophobia and authoritarian or dictatorial governments. So because the climate's bad, that's what's causing us to have authoritarianism. Or is it because you're trying to tell me what I have to do? Is that the authoritarianism? It seems like you're trying to use this as the cause to be an authoritarian. So anyway, that's him. Let's hear more from them again. I'm going to show you what they said, and you're going to hear it directly from their mouth, because I'll look like a crazy person otherwise. Okay, in the report, going back to the report, they broke this down. This is compounding environmental crises. So basically what they have here is environmental damage, failure to mitigate climate change, biodiversity loss, natural resource crisis, climate, all leads to the biggest problem, which is chronic health conditions. And so because the climate is then going to make us all sick and we're all going to die. It's not that you got the medicine that's causing a higher death rate. Supposedly now they're telling us it's the climate that's killing us. And so they're going to continue to say that. And if we look at the report, if we look at the severity, this is a grid. And so basically the higher and to the right means it's the more urgent, and then higher to the left would be long-term severity down here. And so the most extreme and most urgent is, again, natural disasters, failure to mitigate climate change, failure of climate change adaptation, natural resource crises. Cost of living crisis is way over here, because in order to do this, they want to jack everything up. And what I like this one here in the middle, and this is the big key, big talking point of the WEF. We're going to talk about this. Right here, the one circled in red is misinformation and disinformation, which they would probably want to accuse me of, because I'm saying things they may not want you to hear, even though I'm just showing you what's in their report. So because of all this, it's going to be one of the biggest problems we have is misinformation and disinformation. That's the blame. So what do they have to say about that? Well, what they want to do is they want to control us, but of course for our benefit, right? You take a lion who's free in the jungle, but it's not safe, right? A lion has to fight other lions, and the lion has to kill other animals for its food, or it starves to death, but it's free. But for that lion's benefit, we could lock it up in a cage, and we could give it antibiotics and steak every day for its benefit. That's no longer free. So they want to control for their benefit. How do they want to do that? Well, they talk about using technology to control. So of course, I've been telling you this for a long time, but you maybe think I'm crazy. So let's hear exactly what they have to say. As a matter of fact, here we go. Here's a clip. You might recognize this guy. He's a well-known, he used to be a well-known host on CNN until he lost his job, Brian Stelter. And he is interviewing somebody from the World Economic Forum telling us about misinformation and potential laws that are going to happen in the United States. Let's hear that clip.
As illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the US. I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. We need the platforms to simply work with the language and to identify such cases. The AI would be too dangerous.
All right, so these are non-elected leaders of American politics, non-elected leaders. We don't even know who they are. They're in another country. And she's telling you what laws will be to protect hate speech. Now, I don't like it when people say mean things to me, and I get 5,000 comments a week. I get people saying...
Okay, let me stop it right there. But as you can see, that they're very excited of what their belief system is and what they want to force upon the whole world, right? They want to convince everybody because they have a lot of money that whatever that comes out of their mouth is correct and beautiful and great, right? It's salvation for everybody. Actually, it's not. They're doing it because they're in a state of paranoid schizophrenic, knowing that Yahweh Shah is going to come back and remove them from power and remove their kingdom for eternity. I want to go to Psalm 140, verse 3. They have sharpened their tongue like a serpent adder. Poison is under their lips. That's right. When they're lying because they're moving their lips. Okay, let's go to Psalm 58. Give me a minute. Psalm 58, I said. Chapter 58, verse 3. Boy, they're going to have to turn off the internet because too much is coming out. Too much. Verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Wow, that is so true. Verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stops her ears. No matter what you say to them, they don't care. They just look at you, right, like you're nothing, and that they are God Almighty, right? I mean, they really believe what they poop and how they smell, okay? I want to go to Romans chapter 3. Give me a minute. Chapter 3, I said. Verse 13. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongue they have used deceit. Their poison of aspis is under their lips, right? The poison of a snake is under their lips. In other words, they're speaking in terminology right now, right? Because they're really talking about Yahweh Shai and the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negros Latinos, American speckled birds. They know that their end is getting closer, so they want to bring the population down, believing that will give them an advantage, right? To concentrate and fight when Yahweh Bashin Yashai comes back with the host of angels. Okay? It's not going to happen, but they've been drinking Kool-Aid for so long that they believe whatever they think. Okay? I want to go to Psalm again. Give me a minute. 140. Back to verse 3. They have sharpened their tongue like a serpent. Added poison is under their lips. Okay? I mean, they went to higher education, right? Get a high college degree to talk about how to murder people in a big amount, right? That's what they really went to these Yale and Harvard and other schools, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 23. Keeping it short. Matthew 23, chapter 23, chapter 23, verse 33, Salakia. Yea, serpents, yea, generations of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? That's where they're going. See, this is our hell. This is not our kingdom. But when Yahweh Shai comes back with the host of angels and bring the kingdom back to earth and remove this wicked kingdom from the face of the earth, the Edomites will be going into slavery for 1,000 years. That's going to be their hell. And then after that, we're going to grab all of them and put them in a big pile and burn them up, exterminate them. Where their spirit goes, when that time comes, Yahweh Bashin Yahushua will let us know. But there will not be no more on earth. Matthew chapter 12, 34, and I'll leave it with this. O generation of vipers, how can ye, Salakia, Being evil, speak good things. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's right. And you have revealed yourself to the whole world. The abundance of your wicked, evil ways. Not 1 day, 2 days. You've been doing it for years. You've been going around the world raping, robbing, and murdering, and plundering, and breaking, and committing treason and top of treason. Poisoning the air, the water, the food, the land, the clothes, and the people. Especially the so-called Negros Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds. Right? Spirit moving to read verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. 37. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by the words thou shalt be condemned. So keep speaking, keep being bold, right? Keep giving the finger to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say, Shalom.